This is the third part of the 6-video mini-series of River Ride's bikepacking trip to Italy. This year we visit Tuscany, starting in Florence, which is in northern Italy. Tuscany is almost all hills and mountains. An estimated 65% of Tuscany is comprised of hills, with another 25% being mountainous. I certainly noticed it. Tuscany covers an area of about 23,000 square kilometres, 9,000 square miles, which is slightly smaller than Belgium. However, Belgium's population is about 3 times that of Tuscany. Tuscany is famous globally for many of its wines, including Chianti, which is the area we rode through in part 1. Today's video was brought to us by the grape Sangiovese. Tuscany is one of the most prosperous agricultural regions in Italy, specialising in cereals, especially wheat, olives and olive oil, plus of course wines. We often rode past olive trees lining the roads with vineyards behind them. As with every Tuscan village, town or city, San Quirico di Orcia sits at the top of a hill. I quickly realised this was so that they could be more easily defended, although it took me longer to realise they were defending themselves against tourists turning up on bicycles. In ancient times, San Quirico was an important stop along the pilgrimage route called Via Francigena, which runs from Canterbury in England through Switzerland to Rome in medieval times. Maybe one day I'll do at least part of that. Interestingly, the blue statue doesn't appear on Google Maps Street View, so it must be a very recent installation. Buon Convento, which translates as Happy Place, has only 3,000 residents. It is positioned along medieval trade routes. It's completely surrounded by walls which were built starting in 1371. There are 9 watchtowers and only 2 entrance gates with thick wooden doors and iron fittings. Garibaldi, despite being a great Italian general, was actually born in Nice, which at the time and now was part of France, although it was ruled by the Kingdom of Sardinia, which is now part of Italy, for most of his life. Over the centuries, he's flitted between being ruled by regions that now form parts of Italy and the French. In 1849, Garibaldi led a spirited defence of Rome against Napoleon. When it was obvious they couldn't hold the city, he fled with his troops. However, his wife, Anita, died of malaria during the retreat. She was hurriedly buried but remained forever in Garibaldi's heart. He was a Republican who, through his conquest of Sicily and Naples with his guerrilla red shirts, contributed to the achievement of Italian reunification under the Royal House of Savoy in 1861, and it was ruled by King Victor Emmanuel. Garibaldi was a nationalist with the aim of liberating people rather than conquering other countries. He's a major figure in Italian history. Siena Cathedral is of Romanesque and Gothic design. It's dedicated to Mother Mary. It was consecrated in 1179 and replaced the church that was built in the 800s. The bell tower has 6 bells, where the oldest one was cast in 1149 and the dome was completed by 1263. The most impressive part of the cathedral are its marble mosaic inlay and graffito floor, with work on this starting in the 1300s and only being completed in the 1800s. The floor consists of 56 panels in different sizes and represents prophets from the Old Testament and other key parts of the Bible. Most are still in their original state. The other uncovered floor can only be seen for a period of 6 to 10 weeks each year, generally including the month of September when I went there. The rest of the year, the pavements near the altar are covered and only some near the entrance may be viewed. The exterior and interior are constructed of white and greenish black marble in alternating stripes, with the addition of red marble on the facade. Black and white are the symbolic colours of Siena and are linked to black and white horses of the legendary city founders, which I'll get onto later. There are 35 statues of prophets and patriarchs grouped around the Virgin. The sculptures and paintings were made by various craftsmen, including Donatello and Michelangelo.
Chante, chante, c'est que de la vie.
A lot of the original paintings and sculptures are no longer housed in the cathedral, but have been moved to the museum or to other museums in Italy. The museum was founded in 1869 and is one of the oldest private museums in Italy. The museum building is interesting in itself as it occupies the first three, now bricked up, bays of the south aisle of the new cathedral, on which construction began in 1339 but was broken off after the Black Death. The cathedral expansion was never completed because too many construction defects were found. The large stained glass window was constructed between 1287 and 1290 and was originally located behind the altar. The statues are of philosophers and prophets from the Old Testament. There are a lot of statues in Siena of a wolf suckling two children. The children are Romulus and Remus, who founded Rome. They were abandoned as babies and were brought up in the wild by a wolf. Siena was founded by Senius, the son of Remus and nephew of Romulus. Therefore, the symbol of Siena is a breastfeeding wolf. The crypt was discovered by archaeologists when repair work was being done to the cathedral. The paintings date back to the 1200s with all walls covered in paintings. By the 1300s the crypt was used as a storage area and then lost for almost 700 years. The scenes depict episodes of the Old and New Testaments. The Passion of Christ is extraordinary, portraying three important moments: the crucifixion, deposition from the cross and the entombment.
Da dove è sbucato, che impressione vederlo indossato. Se ti vede tua madre lo sai, questa sera finiamo nei guai. È strano ma sei proprio tu.
Piazza del Campo is Siena's main public square. A horse race is held around the edges of the piazza twice a year. There are a lot of loops on buildings around the piazza which are for tying horses up. It's also the finished location of the annual road cycling race called Strade Bianche, or White Streets, which are so named after the white gravel roads near the city. The piazza was established in the 1100s as a marketplace. Siena may have been an Etruscan settlement, however it was not a major Roman settlement and didn't have a Roman forum. This is despite it claiming to have been founded by the son of Remus.
14 anni o un po' di più, la tua barba è da un po' che non l'hai, e il tuo passo è da donna ormai. Al telefono è sempre un segreto, tante cose in un filo di fiato, e vorrei domandarti chi è, ma lo so che vergogna di me. La porta chiusa male tu, lo specchio, il trucco, il seno in su, e tra poco la sera uscirai, per le sere non dormirò mai. E intanto il tempo se ne va, e non ti senti più bambina, si cresce in fretta la tua età, non me ne sono accorto prima. E intanto il tempo se ne va, le sogni e le preoccupazioni.
Siena is split into 17 contrade, or districts, with each one being named after an animal or symbol. They were established in the Middle Ages in order to supply troops to defend Siena against Florence. However, they are now just areas of localised patriotism. The role has broadened so that any important event, e.g. birth, marriage, victory in Siena's horse race, is celebrated by the whole contrada. Every contrada has its own church, museum and motto. Each contrada has its own saint, and each saint has its own special day. Therefore, on the saint's special day, the whole community celebrates in front of the church. Part of this is the flag waving that we just saw. The locals also sing traditional songs and play traditional games. Grazie per essere stato con me a Siena. Vale la pena visitarlo soprattutto a settembre, quando la città è molto viva ma la folla è diminuita. Per favore unisciti a me la prossima settimana quando ci spostiamo a Pisa. Se il video ti è piaciuto, fai clic sul pulsante mi piace e per assicurarti di non perdere mai più un video sui pulsanti iscriviti e campanella. Grazie e buona settimana.